I genuinely do not think that men understand how lucky they are. Every time I open this app, I see an eloquent, well spoken, self care giving woman, like someone who's just pouring into themselves, doing their skincare, working out, eating healthy, learning new things, reading books. That's what's on my timeline. The women who are taking very good care of themselves. And I'm like, this is what men have to choose from? They get the pick of the litter. You guys get the pick of the litter. Like, I swear, every girl I know is working on herself. Every girl I know is trying to heal some trauma. Every girl I know is like, how can I get better? And men get to choose from that. They don't understand how lucky they are. It's also shocking to me because there are so many men I feel like who just secretly do not like women. And I'm like, what is not to like about something soft and delicate and dainty that smells good and is funny and just requires food and joy and love? What's hard to love about women? Genuinely, what's hard? I'm like, it's shocking.
So, I mean, first of all, I think we have different internets, and you have a you have an internet that reflects what you know that worldview that all these women out here are doing the right things, they're working on themselves. That it's almost like it makes no sense why you're having a hard time dating, but in reality, you kind of just if we're being honest, most of the times women give themselves and their friends a lot of credit, a lot of credit. They don't really harp on their friends or think their friends are bad because then it would probably be a reflection on them. You're not critical about your friends. It's all the same. They're lovely. They're great. They're doing the work. But when it comes down to, and if that were true, if that were absolutely true, and they were these phenomenal women, then all of you would have been off the market. If you were really that phenomenal as you purport them to be, they would be off the market. But the reality is, you may look great to your friends and you may be great in the echo chamber, but that's there's a disconnect. That's not translating. They're not finding the target market. If that's not happening, then it's probably time we start questioning, well, everything, everything, especially when you're just using social media to be the litmus test. So, guys, continue to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss no uploads. I was still trying to do two a day. Let's do a deeper dive into this because I see a lot of these, this similar trend on women questioning why their friends are single or why they're single, and the thought that they are so great, that women are doing all of these great things, that why are they not? Why are men? Well, what men would have this, it's easy to be men at this point. They have so many beautiful, willing women to choose from. But again, I think it's very obvious when you take yourself sort of out of that space and you look at, or you would look at and listen to what men are saying. Yeah, they're not finding that to be true, even if by their own definition, by their own volition, that these women are great, they're amazing. Men aren't finding that to be true when it comes down to relationships. The truth is, when women are complimenting their friends, they're not dating their friends. The version of your friend that you get is your friend, not how she is in a relationship with men. She's probably not as critical with you as she may be with men. There's it's apples and oranges, right? I think that's an obvious thing we can look and understand. So when you feel, or when you put out that your friends are so great, so amazing, they're doing all the work, you never really scratch further than that. It's a surface level sort of relationship at times. You don't really question, right? When they tell you what went wrong in a relationship, or the last guy they were dating, why it fell out. You don't question them, even when you know that, hey, that's not okay, that's not right, or there's something missing there. You don't push that because there's a larger group dynamic at play. Keeping the bonds of those friendships intact often doesn't survive when you truly will say, hey, yeah, what you did there was wrong. What you did to that man was wrong. It becomes part of the ritual when they come with their issues about men, to believe them, to comfort them, to validate them and make them feel as if everything, yeah, you're right. You were right to walk away from that. You were right. He was trying to manipulate you. He was trying to do all the ills. There's very rarely a corrective action, a corrective thing saying, I can validate you and also say what you did there is why you tend to have trouble with the men you want. This is why you really can't hold the attention of the men that you're interested in. And and I know how this typically goes. When we critique women, it's all often comes across as sometimes people feel like it's bashing. This is not bashing. This is trying to understand, help people understand why, despite feeling as if your friends are great, why they're not getting the success you believe they're entitled to. This is healthy criticism to help people sort of step back and look at your friends in a more critical light. Women often request men do the same thing for their friends. Well, you know your friend um, doesn't take care of your child, and yet you're friends with them. You don't critique that. You don't push that. You don't say, "Hey, what you're doing there is wrong." You don't. When he's dogging women out, you're not going there and say you shouldn't be doing that, or what about her feelings? So it's fair to critique each other's friends group, right? It's fair to critique that. The thing is that men aren't really getting online and saying, "Well, why can't my friend find a good woman?" Yeah, I know my friend's a dog. He's gonna get exactly what he deserves, right? And that friend that's a dog gets kind of pushed further and further out of my sort of circle because then I'll be looked at and believed and I condone that sort of behavior. So in this case, when women are often saying that, you know, their friends are so amazing, okay, I don't doubt that. But when you list off the criterion about what makes them amazing, that's not always necessarily the same thing that turns around and makes them amazing to men. Makes them amazing to men that would want to have them as long, in a relationship or long term, girlfriend or wife. There aren't the same things, and it's usually yeah they're doing the work, they're successful, they're beautiful. Well, we also know women you really aren't fair when it comes to critiquing other women's beauty. Right? You know, there's a whole host of a trend going on right now on TikTok, on YouTube, where women who are self-admittedly saying they're not attractive, they're not conventionally attractive, they're saying that for themselves. That's what they believe. That's what life has told them. And the comment section is typically filled with women saying, "No, you're gorgeous." No, they're telling you, and it's almost disenfranchising what they're saying because no, they've known that, they accepted it. They're not saying that it's bad, it's evil. They're just saying that life has different challenges because of the way it look. But then there's always a swath, a large majority of women saying, "No, you're this, you're gorgeous, you're beautiful." We can try and understand the differences where you want to say someone is beautiful as a human as what they as their value. We can all agree to that. But when we're saying that physical beauty, the thing that the world sort of deems this is more attractive than this, that is a very real standard. But when you don't see that or you don't claim that with your friends, you simply say they're gorgeous, they're successful, they're doing all the work, men would be lucky to be with them. Men are typically saying, well, I don't see them that way. And until we can kind of sort of get in line, maybe we need to line up our delusion. If we're not going to get rid of it, maybe we need to line it up so at least people are saying the same things in an equitable sort of manner. If you feel as if your friends are gorgeous and they're beautiful and they're successful and they're amazing, yet they're single, you need to understand what it may be like to simply date them. As men, that's probably what's pushing them away, or that's preventing them from getting that sort of thing they want. So you can have a realer discussion and saying, no, I just don't accept that they're these things, and the issue's always with the men. You kind of say, yeah, you know what, you don't really come across, or you don't really sell yourself well to men, or you have these beliefs that are sort of incongruous with what men are looking for. At least the men of that sort of caliber. But look, if you think I missed something, let me know down in the comments below. If you see videos on your screen right now, you want to take a look at those, let me know what you think about those as well. And if you listen to sound of my voice right now, you have subscribed, I'm just thinking it's spite at this time, right? I'll see you guys on the next one.